Hey there, YouTube. I'm going to be doing a 1-month review of my 2024 Nissan Frontier Pro-4X. I've got a little over 1,740 miles on the odometer right now, or specifically 1,742. It's been a little over 1 month. I wanted to get this out sooner, but weather was not cooperating with me. So we're gonna go find us a spot, and I'm gonna talk about the things I like about the Nissan Frontier and maybe some things I don't like. Nothing big, a few nitpicks here and there, and things that are easily fixed. So let's go find us a spot. That way I'm not sitting at the apartments and looking like I'm talking to myself in front of a bunch of elderly tenants of mine. In case you don't know, I am an apartment manager and I manage a apartment complex with 40 units. I co-manage with my wife, so there's that. Oh, there's some deer. So while we're going to find a spot to record this, what are some things I like about the Nissan Frontier? Well, it's got good power, decent fuel mileage. I hand calculated 24.2, but the caveat there is that's 40 PSI in the tires and tonneau cover. So there's reduced rolling resistance and aero drag there. That always helps. Anything you could do to reduce drag and resistance on the vehicle is going to improve your fuel mileage. Let's see, good ride, good fuel mileage, good power. The fender system, it sounds decent, although I do have a nitpick about that. The truck looks great, rides great. Got good space in the back there for the dog. You know, the usual stuff that you could say about a crew cab pickup. I'm just trying to find a spot that's where there's not anybody at right now. That way I don't look insane talking to myself walking around a truck. You know how it goes. Also, we'll head down by the river here. Maybe the spot down here is freed up. Got to go through the park and campgrounds though to get there. So, but there's a spot where the dock. We'll give that a shot. Hopefully this spot's not full of goose crap like it was when we did the seat cover install video. Yeah, I think we might be too close to this camper here. I don't want to disturb anybody just enjoying their time here, you know. But yeah, I wanted to go find a spot so that I can do a little walk around and show off the things that I don't like, my nitpicks. None of these are actual deal breakers, but just things that could have taken more thought from Nissan themselves, if you get what I mean. Overall, I do believe the truck is well designed and pretty well thought out. So let's go find another spot. We are going to go left. Go left and back through town. I might know a place. My original spot, there's people there. The second spot, there's people there. Yeah, in case you don't know, we live in a fairly small town. Basically, you can see from one side to the other. Maybe half mile, 3/4 mile across at best. And it's a decent drive to get anywhere. The next town going east is about 22 miles away just to get to Walmart, and going west, you're looking at 15 miles away. And that's just a little tiny blip in of itself. I don't want to go down there, so we're going to go up a little bit and then hang a right. Go by the elk farm. Yes, I said elk farm, because we do have one. But that's on the side of the road. You know what? Let's go left. I might know another spot that might be empty right now. So I do plan on doing a few upgrades to this suspension wise. I'm doing a lot of research and looking into what I want exactly. I do plan on going 3 up front, 2 in the rear, and 33-inch tires. You know, 285, 70, 17s. I haven't 100% decided on what tires specifically I want. I'm still looking at a few. Looking at Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs. I'm also looking at the BF Goodrich KO3. I'm even considering the Falcon Wild Peak AT4Ws. And even maybe, depending on how prices of stuff looks, General Grabber ATXs. They all have their pros and cons, but this is Michigan. We get a lot of snow, so I need a tire that's going to work good up here. As far as suspension kits, I'm probably going to get control arms through All Dogs Off-Road. I like their setup a little bit better than the Z1s. And I've heard some issues with the Z1s where their set screws come loose. That's not good if you're off-roading and you end up knocking one of them loose and throw your whole alignment out of whack. So likely go with the All Dog setup. Might pair that with the Dobinsons, either the IMS or the MMR setup. I'm deciding if I want a little bit of adjustability or just go with the set static shock package. And then I did find a box suspension setup, which would work. I considered the Nismo one, but I don't know if I'm going to load the truck up with that much gear, because the Nismo setup is tuned specifically for overlanding purposes. And while we do want to do some of that, I don't know if I want my daily driver to be that loaded down, you know what I mean? I want stuff that's easily removed for the purposes of daily driving. So not really going to do like a rooftop tan or nothing like that. But I will add stuff for cargo management and being able to control my gear in the back. I'm probably going to do a modified MBRP exhaust, in that it's an MBRP catback, but I'm going to do an equal length exhaust on it. Somebody did that with a Borla Pro-XS muffler. They made an equal length exhaust out of that, and it legit sounded like a stock 370Z. So VQ makes VQ noises and not truck noises. Because if we're being honest, truck V6s just don't sound good. You know what? I think we got a spot here. Maybe not right this spot, but back that other spot they just passed. So we're at the spot. I'm gonna set up on the stick here, and we're gonna talk about some of my nitpicks and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we can see you guys here in a sec. Okay, so my first nitpick. The first nitpick I have has to do with the Fender audio. Yes, I know my screen is dusty. I know it's dusty up here sometimes. So premium system has bass, treble only, no mid-range. The bass speaker system has mid-range and bass enhancement adjustments, and then you got your standard fare of balance, fade, and your speed sensitive volume. Why is it on a premium system that there's not more adjustment to the audio? Kind of seems a little backwards that the bass system would have more of a feature set than the premium system. So that's nitpick number one. And like I said, the system doesn't sound horrible. I don't have the best ears either, but at the same time, I mean, it's a bit ridiculous. Nitpick number two, auto start stop. I have to hit this stupid button every single time. Why cannot go into the driver aids or settings and permanently disable that? I don't know. That's nitpick number two. Nitpick one, the Fender not having adjustments. Nitpick two, start stop. I have to turn that off every single time. It's like, come on, Nissan. Let's make that something that can be turned off permanently. I don't want to have to mount the truck to do so. Nitpick number three. We gotta get out and go to the back. Nitpick number three. Remove the dog seat cover real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This underseat storage compartment. You can see it's already kind of overflowing. It's got the off-road adventure kit, the medic kit, the 2 ginormous tie-down cleats, and like 4 ratchet straps. These ratchet straps fall out. The underseat storage compartment is too small. But I have a solution for that. Z1 Off-Road recently released a new storage compartment that is 60% larger. So guess what I'm doing? Replacing this with a larger storage bin. And also the front of the storage bin is higher so that my stuff doesn't fall out. So that's nitpick number 3. Nitpick number 4. I don't know if you can see this, but your tie-down points here. Why is there no tie-down points in the floor? Every other truck I've had has had tie-down points in the floor. Seems like an oversight not to have those. But that's something that can also be easily rectified. Z1 sells a rail kit. It utilizes these holes here, and I can mount a rail system in the floor itself, which I'll likely end up doing. And for my 5th nitpick, this power inverter only supplies 400 watts. And you're probably asking, well, why is 400 watts not enough? Because 400 watts translates into 3.3 amps. And the problem with that is I can't run any power tools off of that. Like, I wanted to use the inverter the other day and I couldn't do that because I will end up blowing up the inverter or blowing a fuse, and I don't want to do that on a brand new truck. So those are the 5 nitpicks I have. None of those are deal breakers, and certainly not going to go trade the truck in for a 25, which, you know, there's a lot of quality of life improvements for the 2025. So if you're waiting to buy a Frontier because you're missing a certain feature, the 2025 is probably the way to go. Let me remount you back up top and head on home, and I'll talk about 25 here for a little bit. All right, so we're gonna head back home. I'm gonna talk about the 2025 Frontier refresh. It's fairly mild refresh, honestly, and quite frankly, I really don't care for the small visual changes they did on the exterior, on the Pro-4, the Pro trims, where they extended the black valance through the grille and added that black plastic piece on the tailgate. Not really a fan. Some people like it, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody has different tastes and opinions of what looks good, and I respect that. So the quality of life things that they have added to the 2025 would be a 6-way driver's seat. Mine is currently 4-way. They added a 6-way one, which I'm assuming adds power adjustable lumbar so that you don't have the manual one on the side here. And then the passenger seat gets a 4-way power adjustable seat, which is similar to mine. Cool. More adjustability for your driver and passenger. Cannot complain about that. Those are meaningful small changes. For the one commenter that said that they weren't going to buy a Frontier because they didn't have a telescoping wheel, well, you're in luck. 2025 adds tilt and telescoping wheel. So if you had an older model Frontier, you may be able to swap the steering columns if you wanted to add telescoping. Me personally, I don't need it, but hey, somebody might have some shorter arms or doesn't want to move the seat. Nothing wrong there. Quality of life update, you know? More adjustability makes the truck fit more people. Can't complain about that, right? They added a new color, which is Afterburner Orange. And they added a new wheel option on the Pro trims as well. I'm a little bit torn on design. Not sure I like it, but, you know, somebody else might. The biggest change on the interior is it went from a 9-inch screen to a 12.3-inch screen. Some people will get excited for that. They're adding more integration, which I believe includes wireless Android Auto. They've already got wireless Apple CarPlay. And they've increased the threshold, or the speed limit, I should say, of the camera system. So now you could use the cameras off-road up to 12 miles an hour, which is up from 6. So they double the speed at which you can go with the cameras on. That's useful. I can find many scenarios where that is actually useful off-road. Let's see, what else? Towing capacity is increased from 6,640 to 7,150. So you're looking at a 510-pound increase over what it is currently. Though Nissan themselves did not state what changes were made to the truck to have a higher rating. If it's something regarding the springs, I could go through the aftermarket and get stronger springs. Did they make the coolers bigger? I don't know. They didn't say. They just increased tow capacity by 500 pounds. I believe the cargo capacity still remains the same at up to 1,600 pounds. Clearly, the Pro-4X is not going to be rated that high. But other trims could. For those that weren't wanting to buy a Pro-4X because you couldn't get a 6-foot bed for 2025, you are in luck. Nissan has opened up the 6-foot bed to more trims, including the Pro trims. So now, if you wanted to buy a Nissan Frontier with a 6-foot bed and the off-road package, you can buy a Pro-4X with a 6-foot bed. Or a Pro-X. And a lot of these changes that they've made, not really things that I myself would want to just go trade the truck in for a 25. I don't think the changes are big enough for that. But I do believe they are meaningful changes for those that were still on the fence about buying one. It's still the same 3.8, still the same 9-speed auto, still pretty much the same suspension as far as I know. There's no changes there. And it's still the same overall design language and still the same frame. So it's quality of life improvements they have done with this refresh, which are much needed, honestly. There's nothing wrong with adding more quality of life to your vehicles. Gas is $3.45 a gallon, which it was a little cheaper, like the $3.27 it was a couple weeks ago, but it is what it is. So anyway, that's been pretty much my review. Overall, I'm liking the truck. Don't really have any major complaints. A few nitpicks, but who doesn't nitpick about a vehicle? And none of the nitpicks are honestly a deal breaker. A couple of them I can actually fix through the aftermarket, so not really a nitpick per se, then is it? It'd just be nice if it came that way from the factory, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, I'm just getting back home. I'm gonna park the truck and head inside and get this video edited for you. Thanks for watching. Hope you got some good information out of this, and see you on the next one. Take care.